Sometimes the greatest empires begin in the humblest places. When we measure success by where we end rather than where we begin, we discover that true achievement isn't about privilege, it's about perseverance. Sarah Chen discovered coding in the only warm place that stayed open late, the public library on 5th Street. While other 16-year-olds worried about weekend plans, Sarah worried about where she'd sleep when the library closed. Every night, with nothing but a cracked laptop and borrowed Wi-Fi, she taught herself to build digital worlds. Line by line, error by error, she coded her way toward a future that seemed impossible from where she sat. While others went home to dinner tables and warm beds, Sarah faced a different reality. The library's closing time wasn't just the end of study hours, it was the beginning of her search for tonight's safe haven. The streets became her corridor between safe spaces. Each alley she avoided, each well-lit path she chose, was a calculated decision in the algorithm of survival. Her backpack held everything she owned, but her mind held everything she dreamed. She found Wi-Fi wherever warmth and light lingered, 24-hour laundromats, late-night cafés with understanding owners, hospital waiting rooms where no one asked questions. Every connection was a chance to code, to learn, to build. Her father once showed her that code could create anything. "These symbols," he'd said, pointing at the screen with gentle hands, "they're like magic spells. Learn them, and you can change the world." She was 10 then, sitting on his lap, believing in magic. But medical bills took everything they had, the apartment, the savings, and finally, him. Cancer doesn't care about dreams or daughters who need their fathers. What remained was debt, grief, and a mother working herself toward collapse. Every dollar saved meant another hour to code, another chance to build something from nothing. She chose hunger over hopelessness, counting coins for the cheapest meal, saving every penny for the internet cafe when the library was closed. Ms. Rodriguez saw potential where others saw problems. The computer science teacher noticed the girl who fell asleep in class but submitted perfect code, who wore the same clothes but produced different innovations each week. Small kindnesses kept her going, a granola bar slipped into her backpack, a forgotten phone charger left on her desk, an extra credit opportunity that came with a small cash prize. Ms. Rodriguez never said she knew, but she knew. She built her first app for students like her, Budget Buddy, a tool that tracked every cent, found free resources, located food banks. It was simple, clean, and born from understanding that every dollar mattered. Library, school, code, repeat. Her daily symphony played in the rhythm of keystrokes and page turns, in the melody of determination and the harmony of hope. This was her composition, and she was both conductor and audience. Her mother worked 3 jobs to keep them afloat, morning shifts at the diner, evening cleaning offices, weekend stocking shelves. They were ships passing in the night, connected by love but separated by survival. $20 and a hug, their weekly ritual of love. In the parking lot between her mother's second and third jobs, they'd meet for 5 minutes. For food, her mother would say. For you, Sarah would think, trying to refuse but always accepting. Student Budget Buddy, born from necessity, built with hope, launched with trembling fingers at 2 a.m. in an empty library. The first download was herself. The second was anonymous. By morning, there were 50. It spread through school like wildfire. "Have you tried this app?" became the Monday morning question. Students who never spoke to Sarah were using her creation, praising features she'd coded while homeless. Teachers noticed the mysterious SC in the app credits. Ms. Rodriguez smiled knowingly as colleagues wondered who the developer was, this SC who understood student struggles so intimately. For the first time, she truly belonged somewhere. The coding club didn't care about her address, they cared about her algorithms. Here, she wasn't the homeless girl, she was the genius who built Budget Buddy. $10,000 could change everything. The competition poster promised more than money, it offered legitimacy, recognition, a chance to prove that circumstances don't determine capability. SafeSpace, an app born from lived experience. Not another game or social network, but a lifeline for homeless youth. Real-time shelter availability, safety ratings, resource mapping. She knew what they needed because she needed it too. Days became weeks. Code became purpose. Every function had meaning, every feature had a face, the kids she'd met in shelters, in libraries, in the spaces between homes. She wasn't just coding, she was creating hope. She tested it where she slept, refined it where she struggled. Each shelter she visited, she asked, "What do you need?" Each answer became a feature. This wasn't theoretical, it was survival translated into code. Competition day. Old laptop versus corporate machines. Teens in matching shirts with sponsors' logos faced off against a girl in a faded purple hoodie with a constellation pin, her father's last gift. She presented not a project, but a lifeline. SafeSpace isn't just an app, she began, her voice steady despite her shaking hands. It's a bridge between crisis and safety, between desperation and hope. I'm not just a developer. I'm a user too. The auditorium fell silent. Judges leaned forward. Every feature in this app exists because I needed it. Every resource listed saved me. This isn't a hackathon project, it's my life. Others had polish. Sarah had purpose. Where they had theoretical solutions, she had lived experience. Where they had assumptions, she had authenticity. The difference was clear to everyone watching. Whatever happens, Mom, I gave it everything. Standing outside, phone pressed to ear, Sarah heard her mother's proud voice crack with emotion. You already won, baby. You already won. First place goes to SafeSpace by Sarah Chen. The words echoed in the auditorium like thunder, like hope, like every dream she'd coded in the dark suddenly illuminated in spotlight brightness. The girl who had nothing had just won everything. But as she held the oversized check, she thought not of what she'd gained, but of who she could help. Victory meant resources, and resources meant reaching others. Tech giants saw what judges saw, authentic innovation. The CEO of Tech Forward approached personally. We don't just want to fund your app, he said. We want to fund your vision. Scale this nationally. Technology should solve real problems, she told the reporters. Not just first world problems, but human problems. Survival problems. Dignity problems. The quote would later become her company's motto. Your father would be so proud. In their new apartment, small but theirs, Sarah's mother held the scholarship letter. For the first time in years, she cried tears of joy instead of exhaustion. SafeSpace spread city by city, life by life. The counter on her dashboard became her daily prayer. 100 youth helped, 1,000, 10,000. Each number was a person, a story, a life touched by code written in desperation and hope. She left hope where she once found it. Returning to the library corner where she'd spent so many nights, she placed a new laptop with a note, your circumstances don't define your future. Someone believes in you. Pay it forward. S. She left hope where she once found it. Returning to the library corner where she'd spent so many nights, she placed a new laptop with a note, your circumstances don't define your future. Someone believes in you. Pay it forward. S. From homeless teen to tech leader, but the purple hoodie still hung in her office. A reminder. A promise. Every board meeting, every decision, filtered through one question, does this help someone like I was? She returned to lift others as she was lifted. Standing at her old high school, speaking to students, some she recognized by their tired eyes and worn backpacks, she saw herself in them and them in her future. Your situation is not your destination. It's just your starting point. Every line of code I wrote, every night I stayed awake learning, every rejection I faced, they were steps, not stops. Teaching code, building futures. The SafeSpace Academy opened its doors to homeless youth. Free training, paid internships, guaranteed interviews. She didn't just offer jobs, she offered transformation. Her mother now helps other families heal. No longer exhausted from 3 jobs, she counseled parents facing what they'd faced, sharing not just resources but hope born from experience. SafeSpace crossed borders, languages, cultures. Because homelessness is universal, but so is hope. The app adapted to every country it entered, but the core remained: dignity, safety, opportunity. I did it, Dad. Just like you taught me. At his grave, she placed a printout of her first code, the one they'd written together. I changed the world with those magic spells, just like you said I would. The cycle of hope continues. In that same library, a new teen finds SafeSpace on their phone. The resources, the hope, the proof that someone who's been there created this for them. Your circumstances are not your destination. They're not even your limitation. They're your motivation, your understanding, your unique perspective. What seems like your greatest disadvantage might be your greatest gift to the world. Build something from your truth. The world needs what you know.